Hi, I'm Pete Tozer of Logical Endeavour Solutions, and I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce you to the system access reports that we've developed in partnership with Tech4 Consulting. Our system access reports are a new collection of system reports made specifically for the Unit 4 ERP product. They're responsive to the specific license of your organization and will also pick up any bespoke user-defined menus that you may have created. They're contained within a quick-to-install Act customization, which has been developed by a team with over 30 years of combined Act experience. The reports have been developed with system administrators and super users specifically in mind, and are designed to help with a range of scenarios. Whether it's gaining a greater foundation in how your users access the system, facilitating a full-scale review or restructure of your existing role groups, or just resolving day-to-day issues relating to user access. The solution covers two main areas. Firstly, access to menus, which is further subdivided into access granted via roles, or access that users have either through roles, through their positions, or directly granted to their user account. And secondly, it provides some visibility of the menus that are subject to data control within the system. The first report in the suite, the Role Access Report, provides an overview of which roles within your ERP implementation have been granted menu access. The report is subdivided by application so that you can clearly see which roles are used for desktop client and which are used for web client. You have the ability to include close roles that, if activated, may grant access that you otherwise don't intend. And for organizations that have a large number of roles controlling their menu access, there's the ability to group the roles together and focus in on specific subsets within the report output if that's required. Let's take a look at using the Role Access Report in practice. Following completion of the install process, the System Access Reports will be added to a custom folder found under the Personal menu within Desktop Client. Access is also made available via Web Client, but for the purpose of this demonstration we are focusing on Desktop Client. The reports open in the normal way, and we're going to set the parameters so that we exclude any closed roles, but we're going to leave the role parameter blank so that we bring in all active roles rather than focusing on a specific one. Then it's just a case of clicking on Save and checking maintenance of ordered reports. When we open the report, we can see a summary sheet which includes an alphabetized list of all the roles within scope of the report. This shows us whether the roles are active, how many members there are, and whether the menu access checkbox is ticked on the role master file. Using the worksheet tabs or the hyperlink on the summary sheet, we can click through to see the detail relating to one of the specific roles. The detail tabs show the roles access by application, desktop client, web client, by the parent folder within the menu hierarchy, and also goes further to indicate whether the role has create, read, update, or delete access to that particular menu item. The User Access Report allows us to step into how users are interacting with the system and away from the specific roles that they're members of. The report grants the ability to see the aggregated access that is given to a particular user. We can then use an additional parameter to compare that access with another user to identify any differences. As with the Role Access Report, the option still exists to break the report down based on a subset of roles using a user-defined configuration. Let's take a look at the User Access Report. To start, we once again open the report from the custom directory found under Personal menu. We're going to run our report as a comparison, so we're going to specify our first user ID as George and our second user ID as Chris, and we'll once again specify that we only want active roles in the report output. We then save the report and pick up our results from maintenance of ordered reports. The report output is structurally very similar to the Role Access Report. We can see the same breakdowns by application and parent directory. However, this report provides a side-by-side comparison of the two users we named in our input parameters. If we scroll down the report, we can see that their access is broadly consistent, except for in Web Client, where Chris has additional access within the procurement module. The user role access report blends together the two previous reports. In doing so, it provides a breakdown of how particular users inherit their access. This works whether it's access granted directly via the user master file, through role membership assigned to a particular post, or just granted directly to the user via menu-based access. As always, there's the option to focus in on particular subsets of role groups to limit the output of the report. When we run the report, we can provide a user ID and decide whether or not we only want to include active roles within the output. The report then shows a list of all menu items that the user has access to, with a breakdown of the method through which that access has been granted. The example here shows that Chris gets his additional access to the procurement module on Web Client from the rec role, which is allocated directly to his user ID. The first of the data control reports within the suite is the attribute control report. This report generates a summary worksheet of all attributes where data control has been activated, and then for each of those attributes generates a detailed worksheet showing the menus that are subject to data control for that particular attribute. For all attributes within scope of the report, a list is generated showing the roles that are linked to it. As with most of the reports in this suite, it is possible to focus in on particular roles or particular groups of roles to limit your record set. Here's a quick demonstration of the attribute control report. We start with the custom directory under Personal Menu. This time we're prompted to provide an attribute ID. The variant can be changed to take attribute name if you prefer. We can also provide a role ID. And as with our other examples, we're going to limit this report to only use active roles. We then save our report and pick up our results from maintenance of ordered reports. The first tab within the report shows a list of all attributes where active data control has been found. It is possible to navigate through the report using the hyperlinks provided on this worksheet or using the tabs at the bottom. On the detail report, we see the familiar breakdown by application and parent directory, but we also see indicators of the type of data control applied to the attribute on each of the menus. The role tab for each attribute shows us a list of all the roles attached to that particular attribute, including their status, the number of members, and whether or not they're also enabled for menu access. The last report we'll show you today is the data control profile. At its core, the report simply provides a list of all menu items that are subject to data control. The report output shows which attributes are controlling each menu item. This grants the ability to quickly visualize how data control is administered within your Unit 4 ERP implementation. This report runs with minimal input parameters. However, the output carries the same menu breakdown by application and parent directory, which is cross-referenced by the data control attributes, giving a clear visual indicator of which menu items are subject to data control. If you'd like more information about these reports, please send an email to contact@tech4consulting.com or visit the website at www.tech4consulting.com. I hope these reports have been of interest to you. Thank you for your time today.